Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Matt down in the catacombs. Tonight's topic has to do with something that I'm sure some would call maybe a church lady concern. Am I right, Rob?
You're insane.
Yeah, I'm a little bit over the top on this, and we're talking about. Well, actually, I don't know a whole lot about it. First of all, so that's a great way to start out the program. I don't know a lot about the topic. I am talking about something called Minions.
Yeah.
And the Minions, apparently, everybody knows about the Minions.
Yeah, except you.
Except for me, I just recently found out about them. They're little yellow creatures that are villain helpers.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to describe them?
Twinkies with faces.
Twinkies with faces. Okay, now there are Minion movies, books, the Despicable Me Minion ride at the Universal Studios in Florida, video games, toys, there's a smartphone app for it, comic books, and now there's the McDonald's Happy Meal surprise, which also includes a Minion, a little creature, the Minion. It's a big deal, multi-million-dollar industry, I guess, right?
Right.
I'm out of it, so I don't know. But the new Minions movie came out in July, this past July. It's a 3D computer animated comedy that's called Despicable Me 2. Now, here's the promo, Rob. I'm going to run it by you, and you just tell me if you think this sounds like a healthy thing for kids to get involved with. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's just see.
We are the Anti-Villain League, dedicated to fighting crime on a global scale. The new villain has surfaced.
They've been on this planet far longer than we have. They're all different, but they all share the same goal. To find the biggest, baddest villain to serve. Finding a master was easy.
La piñata!
Keeping a master. That's where things got tricky. Nope, it wasn't easy for these guys. But nonetheless, they kept on looking.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scarlet Overkill!
Have any of you ever dreamt of working for the greatest supervillain of all time?
You know, in this promo, you got evolution presented as a given, first of all.
Right.
You've got depression because the little creatures don't have enough evil masters to serve. And they're setting out to find new and improved evil for all the minions to follow until they find, again, Scarlet Overkill, the world's first supervillainess. Does that sound a little strange, or is that? I mean, the little kids are getting little toys that are seeking out evil to. Okay, fine. Moving right along. It sounds pretty healthy to me. I think in its own little weird way, it's got to be healthy. Now I got to tell you, Rob, you know this. I'm kind of an old school guy. My kids are still watching Fess Parker as Daniel Boone. So yeah, it's like at our house, it's Lone Ranger, Mayberry. You know, it's
Right.
Yeah, it's Barney Fife. You know, and it's Davy Crockett still in the house. So this all seems a little weird for me from my little house out on the prairie. In fact, if one of my kids came home with one of these Minion characters, I think we'd probably do what we usually do with that sort of thing. Set the little guy out in the backyard and shoot it with the 22. You know, make it
subtle cat.
yeah, make it as a target, you know, before we go in for the family rosary or whatever. Yeah. But I'm a little old school, so I'm sure that's not what most people are doing. But Minions, Rob, Minions, serving evil. I know I'm old school, but doesn't this sound just a tiny bit like the minions of the devil, Satan's minions? Nothing there at all? It's an exaggeration? Okay, it could be. But in any case, leaving the minion thing aside, because I admit I don't know a lot about it, there's a new controversy involving the minions over at McDonald's. Have you heard about this?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is interesting. McDonald's is handing out to the kids in their Happy Meals these little minions. And these little minions actually talk. And what do you suppose these little weird plastic dudes are saying? What the blank? I don't know if we can beep that, but you hit the little thing. What the and WTF is the thing. And there's a lot of parent controversy now brewing over why it is that Minions are teaching little kids to say these things. And I don't know. It just seems like maybe that should have been screened before they gave it to McDonald's Corporation to give to the kiddies all around the world. Now, I know. I'm heading towards the tall grass here. It's just kids' toys, and we don't want to become the church lady. Little kids' toys, by the way, that actively seek out evil entities to mindlessly serve while teaching Johnny and Susie how to say what the blank in the new Minionese language. So I'm sure there's nothing to worry about here. What am I worried about, actually? I'm not sure. Nobody's really after the kids. We need to wake up to that, Rob. They're really not after our kids.
Right.
I mean, in fact, they're protecting the kids. They care about kids. Let's take, for example, the Minneapolis-based Target Corporation.
Love these guys.
Yeah, they're fun. Did you know that Target is now doing away with all gender-specific colors and toy sections in their stores?
Love them.
Got to get away from that gender
don't want
specificity
that.
thing. Yeah, it's bad. That's bad stuff. So they're doing that. Yep, that's what they're doing. And here's what Target had to say in their press release, quote, "We never want guests or their families to feel frustrated or limited by the way things are presented in our stores. Over the past year, guests have raised important questions about a handful of signs in our stores that offer product suggestions based on gender."
Good for them.
Yeah, we can't have that. Now, this is just not going to happen in the future, says Target. All toys from now on will be grouped together. No guns and trucks for the boys, no princesses for the little girls, no princess dresses and all that sort of thing. No siree, Bob. From now on, those little princess dresses, Rob, they're going to be pitched to the little boys, too. Isn't that special?
It is special.
Because then the kids can decide what sex they want to be.
Yeah.
Isn't that? I think it's beautiful. Obviously, they care about the kids. Now, of course, for thousands of years, men and women, boys and girls, they knew who they were and what they were. They didn't have any problems. They built Christendom. They erected massive cathedrals. They wrote great plays, works of art, stories, music, opera, the best the world has ever known. And then they explored the world. They built bridges. They went to the moon finally. They didn't have a whole lot of time to sit around staring at their navels and their private parts, speculating about this or that if they were to make a few adjustments. We're doing that, but they didn't. In the history of the world, we never saw anything like this. That was then. We are new and improved human beings. We're enlightened. No more Romeo and Juliet for us. No sirree, Bob. For us, it could be Romeo and Romeo, Juliet and Juliet, which I think is beautiful. That's just one. Adam and Steve.
Yeah.
Why do we need Adam and Steve? Why not? That's what we're all about. You name it, because we're awesome. We can change it because we're enlightened and we're progressive. So as the local press here in Minneapolis solemnly assured all of us here about Target stores, now this new endeavor to remove gender-specific marketing from toys and sections for toys, quote, "These campaigns also add to the rise in awareness of the transgender community, which is showing the world the gender," I don't know how to say this word, dysphoria, Ron? Gender dysphoria, which means feeling your gender is different than the sex that you were born with.
Right.
Yeah, so it's raising awareness about this is a real concern in society. Now, Abby Beschel, the mom who first raised this complaint for Target stores about the gender-specific, categories in the stores, she made a big ruckus for Target now, and she has some pretty interesting quotes that I think we should consider. She insists that this is not just a problem for little girls. Her 3 sons, aged 7, 9, and 12, used to have no problem, according to Abby. They had no problem, quote, picking out and playing with dolls. These days, however, they'll say, quote, "Ew, I'm not going in that aisle. That's girl stuff," end quote. And Abby continues. She says, "And we just have to have those conversations, that you can play with anything you want and that there's nothing wrong with girl stuff," according to Abby. Isn't that
It's
beautiful?
the important things in life.
Very, very important. Can you imagine if we had just had the benefit of our mothers having said that to us when we were little? If you want to play with dollies, that's great, that's wonderful. Well, now we're finally getting around to that in our society, and I think it's just awesome.
A local mother says she was offended by an aisle sign she saw inside this Target, so she took a picture and tweeted it, and it has taken off on social media.
Smack in the middle of the blue kind of boy area was an aisle sign that said building sets, girls building sets. And I just thought that was so frustrating.
Abby believes gender should be removed from the way toys are sold.
because it makes it seem like it's so normal for building sets to be for boys, and oh, by the way, you know, girls can build stuff too, we guess.
So because Target cares about our kids, the aisles will no longer have colored backdrops and indicating, you know, genders such as pink and yellow for the girls or blue and green for the boys. Now here's the point, Rob. I do not run or, you know, go through Target stores in fear and trembling that my son is going to find the doll aisle.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is the point. Kids will make those choices. They're hardwired as they've always been for, you know, a few thousand years now, a few millennia. And I'm really not worried about that. So really, these people are the ones that are refusing to think outside the box. The kids are going to choose what they're going to do because that's the way they are. So it isn't a case of, well, we must make sure that girls never see a gun toy, boys never see a prince. That's not the point. They're going to go where they're going to go because boys and girls are hardwired in that way. But we've lost sight of all that. So in the days to come, I'm sure we can expect, you know, not a single underwear section, for example, for little boys and another underwear section for little girls. This is so crazy now and so evil and sick and bad that I think that eventually we're going to have one underwear section for one style of underwear for all sort of a unisex thing for the kids. And the kids are going to be bombarded with transgender indoctrination from now on. That's just the way it's going to go moving forward. It's not about the kids. Nobody cares about the kids, not anymore. It's about us. The most selfish, self-absorbed, ignorant buffoons in the history of the human race. Yes, that's our generation. That's who we are. We like sex. We're sexaholics, in fact. We don't think much about anything else anymore besides sex. And the innocence of little kids? Who cares? The ones who made it past the abortuaries, we don't care about them. That innocence reminds us of what we once were. And we hate it. We hate them. We hate their innocence. And we will not rest until they're as sick and perverse as we are. That's the new reality that we're all dealing with. And those kids that are going to grow up in homes now without moms, without dads, depending on the homosexual combination that you come up with, nobody cares. So these little kids don't have moms anymore. Whatever happened to the feminists? We don't care anymore about whether women are important. No, we just have two men that are going to raise kids, and that's going to be just fine because we consider it progressive. It's not about the kids. It's about us. Warped and sad and sick and suicidal. Who cares about kids? This is about us and what we want to be and what we want no matter what. We're going to crush and destroy and make ugly everything in our society, and no one cares. No more pink, no more blue, no more princesses, no more cowboys. God help us, what a nightmare we are creating.